sun.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Let's listen to Pavarotti.
Can I be your superhero?
Hello, welcome to The Revealing. I'm your host, Pavarotti, here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. And goodness, I wasn't going to do another video today, but all those docs posted, and I just went through every single one of them. And you talk about some nuclear bombs. I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of them. And yeah, I hate being right, but some of this stuff is like I wrote it myself. Very strange. We're going to clear up this whole confusion about the hotel room. That's for sure. Thank you, defense. I'm going to start with, though, before all of the super guilters out there blast this all over the media, because they will. I'm going to go ahead and get it out to you so we can look at it for what it is, which is nothing first. And, you know, when you're a hiker and a jogger in Pennsylvania is a, rather cool place. So yeah, you probably would need, if you were doing a lot of running and jogging, a balaclava. Yeah, so they got Kohberger purchasing a balaclava in January of 2022. Now you imagine how bad that thing smelled come November of 2022, because they're designed to soak up sweat while you jog, keep the wind off of you. But yeah, they dug back so far into his history till they found, he purchased a balaclava. Like that is any evidence in this case, as I'm going to show you in the witness description. It was written almost exactly like when I went through the doc, and I told you, I said, look at this. Look at this. Gooch done put a picture of a balaclava down. I'll be dang, they even drew the picture. It is crazy. I can't even, I got so much to go over. I'm going to go over just a few things with you in this one because it's crazy. It's crazy. And we're going to go ahead and knock this balaclava crap out of the way. In January of 2022, Kohberger bought a balaclava from Dick's Sporting Goods in Pennsylvania. And they had me on that too. I went all the way to Spokane. What's he doing up in Spokane? Now, this is January of 2022. He bought it in Pennsylvania. That is not evidence. That shouldn't even be allowed to be brought in as evidence. Give me a break. Let's take a quick peek before the guilters blast it all over the airwaves. All right, so this can be found in the authentication of records, but number 14, Dick's Sporting Good record of sale for Brian Kohberger. This is the one that I thought was in Spokane, Washington, but it turns out that the relevance of this information is that Brian Kohberger purchased a black balaclava from Dick's Sporting Goods on January 10th, 2022. This mask is the same type of mask described by DM that she witnessed, worn by a male in the residence on November 13th, 2022. A certificate of authenticity is attached. This is the kind of evidence they're going to try to use against Kohberger. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's especially ridiculous when I read the next document to you. And it's very strange. It's very strange. One of the reasons I had to jump on here and do this video is because it's like everything I've said in the last few days is just coming to fruition. Yesterday's video, I know a lot of you watched that, where I broke down the defense's motion in limine as it relates to the bushy eyebrow statement. And as I went through there, I said, look at this. I mean, Gooch showed her a picture of this. And I said she drew one. I said, I bet the one she drew looked just like the picture she showed Gooch. It's insane. Wait till I read what the defense wrote in this thing to you. It's absolutely insane. And it also goes to that stupid balaclava purchase. Give me a break. Check this out. Okay, so this is the reply to the state's response to defendant's motion in limine for the bushy eyebrows. I'm not going to go through and break the whole doc down for you, but I am going to read this part. The state contends that DM's statements are independently reliable, as law enforcement did not employ a witness identification procedure. Mr. Koberger is not suggesting the DM's descriptive words were developed in conjunction with a lineup. DM was interviewed 5 times. Law enforcement was involved with each interview. According to the state, DM's multiple descriptions of the intruder were based on her own recollection and were not the result of suggestive identification procedures employed by law enforcement. Mr. Koberger points the court to the following instances which are suggestive. In the second interview on November 13, 2022, DM was interviewed at the police department by Detective Mowry, who inquired about facial features and asked DM if she knew what color the intruder's eyebrows were. Detective Mowry is the person who mentioned eyebrows, not DM. In the third interview on November 17th, DM was interviewed by Detective Gooch, who asked DM if she knew what a balaclava was and showed her a picture. In the fourth interview on December 1st, DM drew the mask for the interviewer. A copy of DM's drawing is attached, and the defense says it looks remarkably similar to a balaclava. You don't say. I mean, it's like they took my exact words. It's crazy. And then I'll be danged. Look at this artistry. They said Dylan was an artist drawing eyes with bushy eyebrows all over her walls. But this is her artist rendering of the balaclava? You've got to be kidding me. It is... It's a football. It's a football with a little window on it. Wait a minute. Maybe this isn't a window. Maybe this is, you know what? This is a sticker. It's a sticker. It probably is a sticker that says, "You of I." Look at there. It's a football with a University of Idaho sticker on it. Good job there, Detective Gooch. You really pulled that information out of her, didn't you? So much for the balaclava identification. But here's the part that I think is the nuclear bomb, and I had to make this video for because I just couldn't wait any longer. Because what have we been saying? Bethany wasn't there. She was at a hotel room. Dylan went home at exactly 4:20 and 8 seconds, seen somebody with a balaclava. As they pulled in, the Doordash driver, Eric Gower, who was driving Dylan home, seen a white car exiting the neighborhood before Dylan seen the balaclava guy in the King Road residence. Now, could all that really be true? I hear people out there really questioning whether it's true or not. I just heard one content creator just popped a video out going, I mean, they could have left, but I don't think there's anything that indicates it. Oh, really? Well, how about this guy? Now, Miss Ann Taylor absolutely knows exactly what we've been talking about the last few days because they've known it for a long time. But look how she sets it up right here. DM saw the intruder briefly in a dark hallway, and in her own words, she was probably very drunk and tired when she saw the intruder at 4 a.m. Now, people are going to look at that and think Ann Taylor's pushing for the 4 a.m. because she knows that the car was still driving at 4:08. But she's not. She's setting them up for the slap down, y'all. She's pushing the fact that in her own words, she saw the intruder at 4 a.m., which means you can't really take her words to heart once she exposes the truth. Look at this nuclear bomb. In this case, not only was there an 8-hour delay in reporting, prior to the first law enforcement interview, DM was allowed to mingle with BF and many other friends. but between that first interview, remember the first interview with Nunez supposedly happened at 12:08, only 8 minutes later. But no, what Ann Taylor's doing is she is setting them up for the fall. She knows that she was allowed to mingle with BF and many other friends. Because why? Because she was with them all night, y'all. Law enforcement did not separate all of the friends who came to 1122 King Road prior to the interviews. There must have been a bunch of them there, and no warning was given to not discuss the facts while they were waiting to dial that phony 911 call. And no effort was made to limit such a discussion. Now, why would she put this in here if not just to slap them right in the face and tell us the truth? Many of the friends who were at 1122 King Road when police arrived also stayed in the same hotel room the night of November 13th, 2022. There was also extensive media coverage. Post-event misinformation must be considered as a factor for the accuracy of DM's memory retention. You want to know about the hotel room? Bam! There it is right there. We were right, she knows it, and she is going to annihilate them at trial, y'all. But that's just the first part. What was the other thing I said? I said it just today. I said, or maybe it was yesterday I said it. I said that little Doordash driver was none other than Eric Gower bringing Dylan home at 4:20. But they adjusted the timeline for the Doordash delivery to make it look like it was at 4 a.m., like she said up there, so that they could corroborate their story. But that's where they screwed up because they left too much evidence for us to finally figure it out. Let's take a look at this Doordash driver, shall we? Okay, so in the new state's authentication of records, it lists number 16, Doordash records for Xana and Ethan. And it says the state may rely on the attached record, State's Exhibit S9 from Doordash regarding delivery to 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022 at 3:59 a.m. Yeah, I doubt that is a record. This particular evidence provides a timeline of events for Xana before the unalivings and corroborates state's witnesses' testimony. This was provided to defendant on May 26, 2023. The state is in the process of obtaining a certificate of authenticity. I bet you are, because you can't obtain a certificate of authenticity for 359 because they didn't roll up until 420. And your goose is cooked with that one now, state. But they want to use that to corroborate state's witness. But we now know that it was Eric Gower driving Dylan home at 420, not 3:59, and we got you on camera, and we know the state's game before they even try to pull it. So who is the Doordash driver, y'all? Well, let me tell you this. Pav is not right every time, but if you give him enough time, he will absolutely knock it out of the park every time. Because Mr. Koberger, 49 devices, digital data sets that this witness will testify there's no connection between Mr. Koberger and any of the following individuals. By the way, this is Mowry, and he's going to testify that there's no connection between Koberger and any of these individuals, including, the Doordash, e.g., Eric Gower. Bam, bam, bam. Got you before you could even get to it. There is so much information in these new docs. I mean, I'll go over it all with you, but I wanted to give you the nuclear bombs, that I've seen in there, because it's weird. Everything we've gone over this week, bam, it's right there. It's right there in front of our face. Who would have ever thought that she'd have put in there for no apparent reason that everybody stayed in a hotel that night? People are going to quit doubting OPAV eventually. I doubt it, but they should, because I've been right on more things in this case, things that really you shouldn't be able to get right, than people really should be able to get right. And for those of you that have been with me for a long time, I've called some things that were right that nobody would have guessed would be right. And this would be just another example of that. Wow. She used Gooch prompted her. Mallory pointed out the eyebrows first. I mean, we went through that just 2 days ago or yesterday. I don't even remember. Just a few days ago, I broke the code on Eric Gower bringing Dylan back at 420 and everything. And I'll be dang, it's all right there. So, you know, these other people out there can continue to doubt, but I don't know what they're doubting. It's right there in our face. The only negative thing in all those documents is the balaclava. They'll paste that all over mainstream moron media, but that's okay because we got out in front of it first, and it means absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter if you bought a balaclava. Number one, that person that Dylan saw probably wasn't wearing one just because Gooch showed her a picture of it and she tried to redraw it and drew a football. But even if she did see a balaclava, the odds of Kohberger still having a dirty balaclava from January of the year before is slim to none. And even if he did, it doesn't put him in the King Road neighborhood doing that. And with Dylan getting home at 4:20 and 8 seconds, she certainly didn't see Brian Kohberger in there if that was Brian Kohberger's car in that neighborhood because it drove out a minute sooner. So get off when you're wrong, docs, and get on when you're right. And we are right on this one. And the only other thing I seen in all that is one thing about Mr. Bryan. Apparently, Mr. Bryan, as smart as he is, he has trouble, and I got this from the autism spectrum disorder motion, but the defense, they're trying hard to get this death penalty off the table, and we know why, because they want to seat a jury that's not death penalty qualified so that they'll keep an open mind during the innocence and guilt phase, which she needs them to do when she goes in there and annihilates these suckers. But apparently Kohberger is almost to the point where he's incapable of helping the defense with the mitigation. Apparently he doesn't want any part of that mitigation stuff, and he won't even comply with them. And they said to the point where we're thinking about declaring him incompetent because he doesn't seem to grasp the magnitude of the circumstances if he was convicted. So I think that's just Kohberger going, man, I'm innocent and I'm not even going to think about that. So I get that. But other than that, we've got so much. There's so much. But I had to get that to you. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Post your comments, thoughts. You shouldn't have any criticism. Post them if you got them. Pavarotti's out.
Oh, gonna give it a shot. Only one of me to shield you all from the enemy.